Morning me darlings, Brian here. Today I'm going to be talking about Dr. Thud's remedy. Pat and I were walking along Plymouth Hoe and we'd gone down to the Barbican and we're walking back into town. We were walking past Kitty O'Hanlon's when we heard some music, and as you do, we went in to have a pint to see what was going on. First person I noticed playing the music was a big lad dressed all in black with a bald head, and he was beating 7 bells of crap out of a dead goat. I borrowed a barrel from somebody because I wanted some of this, and I joined in and played along with him. This was the first time that I met Dr. Thud, and you know, sometimes when you meet someone you instinctively know that they are going to be a part of your life. That's the feeling I got when I met Thud. We didn't think any more of it at the time, when the session split up and everybody went their own ways. A couple of weeks later, Pat and I were going down to the Mill Bridge because they used to do a deal down there, chilli at the Millie. I think it was £4 for a chilli in the pint or something. We went down there for that, and there was a band playing. This guy who'd been playing the barrel in the Kitty O'Hanlon's was playing in this band, and I noticed that the other two of the other members of the band, the singer, guitarist and the fiddle player, had been there at the Kitty O'Hanlon's gig as well. I hadn't realised that they were a band. They also had a tea-chest bass player with them, a tall guy named Phil. I was intrigued by the tea-chest, and I asked if I could have a go. They let me have a go, and I played a song and I handed the chest back, and they said, no, you did really well, play a few songs. So I played a couple of more songs before handing the tea chest back. We'd all got on well together, so we'd all exchanged phone numbers and things. About a fortnight later, I got a call from Steve, the singer of the band, and he said that they had a gig booked at Finn McCool's in Falmouth, and the bass player, Phil, couldn't make it. Would I be available? Of course I am. I'm up for anything, me. So I went down to Falmouth with these guys and played my first ever gig, and it went really well. And after that we started hanging around with the band, and at some point in the evening they'd let me play a few songs. Pat and I had been members of Wreckers Morris, and we found out that these guys belonged to Dartmoor Border Morris, and Pat wanted to do Morris dancing again, so we joined Dartmoor Border, and I had my apprenticeship of being a bass player there, because we'd always have music sessions at which I played the bass. Some of them at big festivals with large audiences, so I was having a great time. Eventually that band split up, and I got a call from Dr. Thud asking me if I fancied making up another band. So I said, well, yeah, I'm up for that. So Thud and I formed another band. The new band's initial name was Fizzgig. Fizzgig is a boat that carries prostitutes out to Royal Naval ships. This was back in the days when the sailors weren't allowed shore leave because they were all pressed men. We thought we're a bunch of tarts anyway, so why not? So the band started out life as Fizzgig. First singer we recruited had been in a blues band, and he didn't really like singing Irish stuff. We were booked at St Patrick's Day gig at a pub in Teignmouth, and when we got there the bugger wouldn't sing any Irish songs, which was a bit embarrassing, so he had to go. Thud and I sacked him. We then took on Steve, who was our present singer. He came to try out for us, and he was just so good we took him on right away. We recruited a a guy who'd played for the London Philharmonic Orchestra, and he was a violin player, and he was very, very good when we tried him out, but when he actually played with the band, he couldn't keep time with us, so he had to go. We then I recruited a guy called Nigel. I'd seen him playing in the Dolphin on the Barbican, and the reason I recruited him was that he looked like a leprechaun. He was a really small guy with wild, unruly ginger hair and a ginger beard, and he played the violin, and he looked exactly like a leprechaun. So I thought, this guy looks the part, and he could play the violin as well. So we recruited Nigel. Unfortunately, Nigel, well, there's two things wrong with him. One, he was a born-again Christian, and the other thing, he was a miserable sod. He used to moan all the time about everything, and I got fed up with him and threw him out of the band. Unfortunately, it was a night before we had a big festival to play, so we couldn't play it. So I had an argument with the rest of the band, and I walked out as well. The band then recruited MJ. MJ was a flute player, and she was also bloody handsome maid. And they also recruited MD, who played the whistle. Dee was a very good whistle player, but she had issues with her self-confidence, so she stands so far back from the microphone you couldn't hear what she was playing, so she didn't stay very long. They then recruited Steve's brother Dave as a second singer and mandolin player. So the band was going on there, but Dee left and they asked me to come back. But I came back into the band, and we were having a cracking time. What else happened? We tried out another, we needed another violin player because MJ left. For some reason MJ had a husband and a toddler, and for some reason that I can't understand at all, I think her husband took exception to her being out on the lash with a bunch of drunken lechers every weekend. I mean, can't understand that, can you? But anyway, MJ left. We needed another instrumentalist. I had someone in mind, but I didn't know his phone number, and I rang a friend and asked for his phone number, and he said, well, I'll give it to you, but I know someone else who's really good. So he gave me that number, so that's how Louis joined the band. So the band as it stands now is Dr. Thud on the baron, me on the tea-chest bass, Louis on the fiddle, Steve on guitar and vocals, and Dave on mandolin and vocals. With this lineup, the band has gone from strength to strength. We've had loads of gigs. We've done festivals, weddings, loads of pub gigs. We are now a very, very popular local Irish band. And I've had a tremendous amount of fun playing with the band. And I'd like to say thank you to all of them for the fun that I've had, and also to Pat, my wife, because Pat is an essential part of the band. Pat loves dancing. As soon as we start playing, Pat gets up and dances, and she encourages everyone else to get up and dance as well. So we feed off the audience. If we've got an audience that are enjoying themselves, we'll put 1,000% into it. If you in there, so Pat getting everybody going is a great help. So I'd like to say thank you to everyone for all the fun that I've had and all the fun that I'm having. So that's all for now. Bye.